Greetings and salutations to all you folks, and right off the bat, my throat goes hoarse. That is a fantastic start to this. As you can tell, it's still just a little bit into allergy season, but maybe I can make it through this cast and we'll be okay. At least it's not as bad as last time. Well, today I got a murder party for you. It is on Desert Arena. Basically, it's an 8-player free-for-all. There are no teams unless people choose to team up with each other after the game starts, and you're handed a goal. And here is the little pop-up for the game mode. Income bonus when killing a target. I'm just going to click 10 because it doesn't matter for me. You are assigned a target. Everyone is. If you kill your target, you get a 10% bonus. If you kill the wrong person, you get a handicap, and whenever a person is eliminated, everyone's target changes. Now, you may be targeted by your target, or it may just be a random free-for-all. It's kind of, you never know who's gunning for who until it comes right down to it, and since there aren't any teams to begin with, it's not like Phantom, where you have to break alliances before you can actually attack someone. So, let's go ahead and jump into this game real quick and see where it takes us. Now, after this game, as usual, there will be a question and answer time. Anything you want to ask, personal questions, Forged Alliance, about the FAF client, anything about strategy, whatever. You can ask it, and then I will be playing a game with you guys later on. Probably a 4v4. Last time I had some connection issues with the 6 versus 6, but we'll just try to get it started with the smaller game this time around. Our players are Neela's taking Seraphim, Koopa taking Cybran. Then we've got Jax over here. He is a Seraphim as well, and softly jumped into this game. That's going to be the 2K player. Got the whole rank spectrum here for you. 500 all the way up through 2K. And we've got the Buckwus down here as Cybran. PRB, I have no idea what that's supposed to stand for. He is pulling Seraphim. Supreme Burger as Cybran. And last but certainly not least, the Meta Boss taking UEF. Great name. Hopefully he can rise higher than 800, because if he is the boss of Meta, you know he will go far. Got a scout out very early for Jax. He's going to shoot that thing all the way across the map. Who knows? Maybe he actually got his target assigned already. He's going to pull the cheese strategy of parking a Cellin on top of a mass extractor location. It cloaks after 4 seconds, and you can't build a mass extractor there until you get rid of the Cellin. It is kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. You have to spam reclaim orders on top of that to get rid of it, or bump it out of the way with something, or just do something to get it to move or get Omni on it. Best case scenario, if he moves his ACU to front, Omni will reveal it instantaneously, and it's a one-shot kill for the ACU. That is the end of that. And look at that, we're going for a double. Engineer is denied right there, and he's just going to park it right there. Anytime you can delay expansion, it's a good thing, no matter how you delay the expansion. And he's going for more. Trollolololol. We've got 2 Cellins over here as well. That is awesome. Kudos to you, Jack. You are my current favorite person in this game just because you are a troll after my own heart. Well done, good sir. We've got Koopa going for the early air scout. He's going to gather some intel on everything happening right in front of his base, just kind of looping that scout around overhead, trying to keep an eyeball on everyone. And yeah, there's the lonely engineer just kind of sitting there, chilling out, trying to figure out why he can't build the mass extractor. Little tank push over here, denied easily by Meta Boss. I think some people kind of assume that you're going to walk your ACU out, but when you're in a free-for-all or a murder party or whatever you're playing on this map, typically you don't want to push your ACU out. You want to protect that thing, because you want to also protect your base. It goes both ways. Your base protects your ACU protects your base, as we just saw. And walls for days. Walls everywhere. Unfortunately, not enough walls for Purple. He is going to get swarmed by these Mantis. They're going to come in here, zap that Hydro, and start working over some of the other power. Do we have a... well, let's see. We have an accord between Koopa and Buckwus. So that is one team. Softly is all by his lonesome. Meta is in the party now. These guys are really... that's interesting. So some of them have alliances with each other and not with other people. So it's kind of like an odd conglomeration. This is the exact problem that led up to World War I. And 2, actually. Yes. I believe 2, maybe more than 1, was the one where alliances dragged everyone into it again. Yeah, it never works out well when certain parties have alliances with others that not everyone knows about, and still, with the mass extractor, with the Sailing on top of it. How on earth is that thing still over there? It is finally going to get zapped out of the way, softly moving forward to deny those tanks rather easily. And finally, PRB is going to force these units out of his base. And you know what? There's this really cool thing. If you have wall sections on both sides of you, it hinders both friendly and enemy units. So you don't necessarily have to build walls for yourself when the person next to you is building walls. You just got to keep a really sharp eyeball out for if those walls get control K'd or reclaimed. As long as you're looking for that while the walls are up, they can't push units through that area anyway, even though the walls belong to that person. If I can get my tongue untied and actually do a little bit of talking. Nihilus is pulling an upgrade. That would be the gun upgrade, which is a handy thing to have when you're in a close quarters battle like this, but I think he is going to lose out on this. He did not get the gun upgrade soon enough. He has tanks in his base, and he's losing all of his eco, and yes, he's going to lose some build power here as well. He's going to have a hard time getting that back online. He is spamming P-gens over towards Koopa. He is a very trusting person indeed. Actually, he's not even allied with Koopa at the moment, so that's kind of a silly thing to do. Building your power supply so dangerously close to your enemy's base, it should be back here. So softly has decided that he wants Jack's base. He does not have enough territory of his own. He wishes to expand, and he has chosen the northward territory, but Buckwus has seen the massive troop movement and decided, hey, while he's distracted up here, let's do this. And I think Jack is in a bit of trouble here. He has gotten Mantis swarmed. He is retreating towards Softly's base, maybe in an attempt for a base trade, but I don't think he's going to get it because there's Mantis in the north, Mantis in the south, Mantis everywhere, and he is well below half health at this point. I think it is just a matter of time. He's going to try to nuke as much of Softly's base as he possibly can, just out of spite, but it's not really going to do him a whole lot of good. Slowly getting chewed up. There's a vet going to delay the inevitable ever so slightly, and he's going to take basically the entire T1 army with him when he goes. There's what I was waiting for up there. Cerberus turret coming in range of the new power generators going up. As I was saying, not a very wise choice building the P-gens that close to Koopa's base. And Softly's going to set up camp right in the center. Brilliant. Now Softly owns 2 bases. This is the bad thing about having a 2K rated player in a game like this, because they are just going to steamroll the closest person to them, take 2 bases, have double the eco, and destroy everything. So yeah, it's you gotta kind of gang up on the 2K player if at all possible and remove them from the game, because otherwise they will end up killing you in the end, which I think is what we're seeing happen right here. Cerberus turret coming up. That's actually going to do a good job of area denial. Softly does not have an upgraded ACU at the moment, so T2 turrets actually going to do a bit of damage. Normally Cerberus turrets are not that great, but in this case I think they'll do just fine. Nihilus, I think, is about to bite the dust. He's got a whole lot of tanks around him. He has an ACU raining down fire, and he has lost his base for the final time, I do believe. Retreating into tanks, he does have that gun upgrade, but he's down to 5k health, 4k, and rapidly dropping. We're about to see another nuke over there. Mobile missile launchers online. The dreaded Viper is on the field for Buckwus. There goes blue. And so now, the Koopa is the sole proprietor of the Northern Territories. He has successfully edged Softly out here. He's continuing to build Cerberus turrets, and hopefully he'll be able to push Softly back into his base and contain that mess. But that does mean that Koopa is going to snag this base as well. So Meta Boss is setting up camp over here, snagging those mass extractors, building everything he possibly can before the Koopa's attention is diverted from Softly to the left-hand side. Looks like Vipers are going to start hammering away at Softly's base, and T1 bombers, nicely done. PRB getting in on the action there. He is going to lay down a couple of hits on those power generators. You can kill the power, you can kill the player. That is pretty much the end of it. Power, a lot of times, I think, is far more valuable than mass is. Over here, we got Rhinos, T2 tanks moving into a base with absolutely no point defense and no ACU to defend it. But that is going to be the easy end of that base. ACU is coming back south, but if I were him, I would stay in the north, throw down some P-gens and a power storage in order to... Ooh, that's nasty. Jesters. Well, hello, Softly. You just got killed by the ultimate noob tactic. There is no anti-air around. There is no... there's a Tech 1 anti-air all the way back in the base, but alas, it is too late. Softly. Oh! Oh my goodness! Black for the win. A banger. Intercepting that cloud of Jesters. That was fantastic. Metaboss is going to bite the dust in the face of those rhinos. That was entirely predictable. When you go versus a group of T2 tanks without any overcharge, that is what happens, my friends. Softly trying to throw down an upgrade. This could be a bad thing. He's sitting on 1k health. His eco is rapidly disintegrating. He's trying to get some assistance up there. He is getting the T2 upgrade. Maybe he would have had a chance if he went for gun, but I think the T2 is going to be the finishing blow to his strategy, and artillery takes it. There goes Softly. Now we've got 4 players left on the board. Let's see what our alliances are sitting as at this moment. Since Softly died, that means that everyone's targets are going to switch, so we won't know who is trying to kill who. Although I think I would take the eco handicap just for the sake of removing the 2k player from the board. I think that the handicap is less of a handicap than being versus someone twice your rank, but that's just my opinion. So we got purple is allied with white and green up here, and white is the same and green is the same. So that means that Supreme Burger is most likely about to die, because all 3 of the other players are allied. No one is actively attacking him at the moment, but they are containing him, which means that probably no one has him as a target. They just want to keep him softened up so the next time someone dies, he's easy prey so someone can claim their eco bonus. Over here we got Koopa reclaiming like a madman, trying to suck up all of the mass that he can. And little bit of troop movement, but not anything particularly organized. Alright, so we've hit a dead spot. Let's go ahead and bump up the speed and just kind of passively observe what's happening with this game. We've got a tack launcher, actually a pair of tack launchers, is going to try to get off a couple of shots. Going to be denied by some TMD, and those are promptly going to die to mobile missile launchers. And then, up here in the north, we've got a little bit of a containment going on, or an attempt at containment for the Koopa. Koopa does have bricks online, though. He is pushing T3 land and T2 air, which is going to be very strong on this field. We've got T2 land for purple, and the, yes, Corsairs raining fire and brimstone down upon Buckwis, although they are going to get sniped off by some interceptors. The Corsairs are not very good versus other air. Extremely high alpha strike, awesome projectiles. They're excellent at wiping things out, but man, throw a few interceptors in there and they just die a fast and horrible death. So Koopa is no longer allied with white. That much should have been obvious just a minute ago. So now we got white and purple, and then loners, Koopa and Supreme Burger. And Koopa is just going to tank this Mantis and Viper Fire, try to kill those off with a combination of the turret and his own ACU. And here comes the Cerberus turret. It looks like white has broken with purple now. Looks about like everyone is breaking up. So no more alliances. The 2K player is off the board now. It is every man for himself. But I have no idea who is supposed to be targeting who, so we're just going to have to see how this plays out. Got bricks collecting for the Koopa. He is getting ready to move. Once you get 7 or 8 bricks in one spot, if everyone else is on T2, you can pretty much raffle stomp anybody. No problemo. Koopa picking up 20k reclaim as opposed to 7 for white, 7 for purple, and 7k all around. So he's more than double the reclaim, thanks mostly to this over here and a little bit of this over here. Alright, white trying to get a team put together to take out Koopa. Koopa is now the biggest threat. Softly is gone. Koopa is sitting on 3 easy bases and reclaiming in 2 more. and that is not a good situation to have yourself in. We're at 17 minutes, T3 on the board, and at some point I'm sure that T3 Air is going to come into the equation. It's just a matter of time, and once those Cyber and Stealth Bombers start flying around, it is GG. But if you can get 3 players working together, I think that there is enough here, should they coordinate their efforts, that they may be able to take him out. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Some interceptors up here in the north just kiting away with those bricks. Bricks are enormously effective against anything at a lower tier than they are, and a lot of things on T3. The combination of high range and high damage with a high health unit is just amazing all the way around, and it does not have the fire rate of the Percivals. The Percivals only fire once every 4 seconds, so sometimes you can overwhelm them with T1, and sometimes they waste a lot of their Alpha Strike because multiple Percivals will target the same thing. So it's not what I would call a crippling weakness, because Percivals are by far the strongest T3 land unit, but the brick is simply more effective at taking out swarms of T1 and T2 than the Percival is. Once you get a huge group of Percivals, though, it doesn't really make any difference, because there's simply so much fire being brought to bear on a group of targets that it just doesn't matter anymore. Alright, Monkey Lord has begun. I knew that that would come in here somewhere. When you got a T3 Cybern, eventually you're going to have a Monkey Lord. It's just inevitable. It's not like UEF where you build straight Percivals and might skip the Fat Boy. It's not like Aeon where you may go Harbingers and T3 Air and skip the Galactic Colossus. If you're Cybern in T3, you're going to have a Monkey Lord. And here it comes. But we do have some Authams. And even though Authams are awful, they're not quite as awful on this particular map because it is relatively flat. You're not going to have firing issues, and it's kind of compact. You're not going to have a whole lot of room to kite around things, although that was a bad engagement right there. Those bricks were able to stand off and just wail on that front siege tank and kill off some other units without really taking any fire in return. Mass for mass, Authams have way more damage than bricks do. But the shorter range, relatively slow speed, they're not going to be able to take over the bricks real quickly. And the, I think they have less HP. I think. They may have roughly equivalent amounts to the bricks. I should look that up because I should know these things. But anyway, bricks, if kited effectively, will overwhelm Authams very easily. So we're almost done with the Monkey Lord up here, but I just realized we have a Monkey Lord down here as well. Supreme Burger saying thanks for the mass. That means he just got a donation from one or the other of these guys, and that's going to let him get his Monkey Lord online. So that means if they pair a gun commander, and I would love to see this happen in a game, rarely do you see this level of teamwork, but if you pair a gun commander with the Monkey Lord and ram it directly towards the other Monkey Lord, if you can land 2 overcharges, you should be able to let your friendly Monkey Lord survive with 1/3 to half health, depending on how it falls out. And instead the ACU is running for the back. Now see, this would have been well worth it to land the overcharge. Autham's gonna bring it in. Bricks following up, but the Monkey Lord will be able to clean up those bricks, I think. It's gonna be close. It does have a veterancy, and that saved it. And there it is. Bricks are dead, got a 5k health Monkey, well 6k now. Thank you, regen. So that means that the southern side is capable of defending itself. Must have been a late night game. I have to sleep. This is what happens when games go on longer than you think they did. You join a Desert Arena game thinking that it's going to be, bam, done, close quarters, fast fight. I'm going to be out of this in 15 minutes, and here we are 26 minutes in, and, needs to sleep. I have been in that situation so many times. That is the only time that I get frustrated with settings. Because sometimes I'll sit down to a sentence and I am fully prepared for 45 minutes to an hour, but then you have that one person whose CPU score did not accurately reflect the speed at which his machine performs, and you end up playing at -2 or -3, throw in a couple of connection issues and a pause here and there, and you end up with an hour and a half game. And, It is so annoying because you're just sitting there and your eyeballs are scratching and you can't think straight and your entire team is begging you to do something about that T3 artillery in the back and you can't focus hard enough to get your APM in line to snipe the thing, and then you lose and it gets even more frustrating. But thankfully this game is not to that point yet. We do have a nice mobile shield out in the front. PRB has moved up and that looks like the nano regen gun. No, yes, ACU. I thought for a second it might be an SACU. But that is a combat upgraded commander, which is a nice thing to have, although I don't know I would expose it that much, seeing as there's another Monkey Lord about to come online, and we do have the 12k health monkey here. So, this is going to be a little bit sketchy. I don't know who's going to win this one. The bricks are going to be helpful. This Monkey Lord is going to be full health, and this is only 10k. It depends on how effective this ACU is. It only has 20k health to burn. It would be better if he had double nano. But if he can land at least 3 overcharges, and this Monkey Lord, which is now rapidly running away from the ACU and is not going to be any use at all, work together, people! Work together, not apart. What? Must not have liked where he was building that one. I did not see, unless that was that was probably the T3 mobile artillery. A shell hit a just barely started Monkey Lord and killed it on the spot. Okay, so we do have 2 Monkey Lords on the south now versus 1. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, that's going to be a win right there. Monkey Lord is going to move around to the right though, but it has been scouted out. They know where it's headed. Those Monkey Lords are going to chase it down. If you have the full health in front and the damaged in the back, you can bring your full fire to bear for longer. And no, don't go north. No. Okay. Monkey Lord is moving northward to deny. Okay, as long as they don't let this one get in the back, they're okay. Because it doesn't matter if you have 2 Monkey Lords in there. Well, nope, Koopa's in front. Oh, 1 clean snipe. Monkey Lord's trampling over this base. The combined damage of 2... veterancy. Yeah. Now we got half health, roughly. The combined damage of 2 Monkey Lords is genuinely terrifying. It brings a full 8k damage to bear on a single target with near 100% accuracy, and that is just brutal. Nicely dealt with there for the Koopa, and somewhat of a poor targeting situation for Supreme Burger. It's hard to handle Monkey Lords in a situation like that, it really is, and I am fully guilty of failing in a situation like that myself. But typically, with 2 Monkey Lords like that, if his ACU is far away from you, you need to target the T4, because if you can kill the T4, you're free to move your Monkey Lords where you need to, instead of wasting your DPS on base objectives and letting the other Monkey Lord eat your 2, and you don't really have a whole lot of damage to show for it. But that's not correct in every situation. I think it would have been better in this specific situation, but then in other cases, you know, you just kind of have to play it by ear. Something you learn as you get better at it, and I am not there yet myself. I can look at it objectively from the sky-high view and offer my humble opinion on the matter, but the reality is there is a vetted, near full health Monkey Lord bearing down on Supreme Burger, and I don't think there is a dang thing he can do about it. I thought Koopa was going to die there for a minute, but it looks like, nope, it's going to be Supreme Burger. Zap! And nuke. That is the end of Orange. And now there is... I think the Monkey Lord picked up another vet off of that. 28 health, 28k health, and another vet. 46k health, moving into Purple's base, and there's the ACU there. Overcharge, my friend, overcharge. Why are you standing there? And there's the overcharge, but it is far, far too late. I think there was a window there where he could have killed that. Let's see, 20k health, that's 2 overcharges. Maybe not. Maybe not. It would have been close. Definitely... Well, no, he did have the gun upgrade. He could have retreated to a greater range and landed 2 overcharges as he was trailing and running through his own shields, and I think he would have gotten it just fine. So that could have been a dead Monkey Lord, but I don't think he was paying attention to where his ACU was. And now we're down to Buckwis, which I think is going to be a death. Because I don't see anything in this base that can deny that unless he can land an overcharge. 15k health, tack launch would save it. Nope. Not going to get that in. One tack missile and an overcharge would kill this Monkey Lord. There's the... Nope. Ah. So frustrating when you can't quite kill the thing. It's only got 13k health. Did he have a power storage? He did. He may have been power stalled, though. I'm not sure. Alright, so that's going to be the end of that brutal game. That could have gone either way at several points. I hate it when there's a slight micro fail, and that is the game deciding factor. It's like the Southern team had enough. They could have killed the Koopa, and it just didn't quite come together. There wasn't enough coordination between the guys, and I do realize that it's hard to coordinate when you're not in voice chat, if you're just trying to type at each other and ping and do that kind of thing. But you got to watch for opportunities like that, and that's one of the things that really makes, when you see 1,700 plus players playing in a team game situation, that's one of the things that really sets them apart. Is you'll see they'll let other people do their thing, but they put in appropriate support units. They'll run their commander up beside a T4, and they'll land overcharges to help their T4 win the battle. They'll push shields and T3 units. They'll push mobile flak instead of their own combat units for the sake of saving other people's investments. You gotta work as a team, and you can do it even though there's not direct communication between the members. It is possible, it just takes a little practice. Alright, so that's the game. That is Murder Party. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys. It is a fun game mode. I've played it a couple of times, and I really wish I could land a couple more games with it, but it doesn't seem like anybody's hosting it when I'm playing it. Actually, I could do that for the game I play with you guys. I could host a Murder Party. That might be fun. And this is a good map to have it on, because the games tend not to last super long. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is we're going to sit here, and I will answer any and all questions that you have. You guys are always full of questions. It actually surprised me the first couple of times I did this. If you have questions about how to use certain units, what I think about certain strategies, personal questions, questions about Forged Alliance in general, the client, anything that's going on with you guys, talk to me and I will talk back. And there's going to be a 30-second delay where I have nothing to do, where no one has typed anything. I'm going to scroll up and read through what you guys have already said. Let's see here. Brink, will you do the trailer, or have you decided to abandon the tourney that you wanted to host? I did not go through with that tournament. Things just did not line up. I had a certain timetable that I had to fit it in, and I could not get any assistance from anybody. It's like nobody wanted to take part in it. I asked a whole bunch of people, and I got a bunch of negative feedback on it. I think partly because there was already like 4 or 5 tournaments on the books. So I just kind of just let it go. And I don't have time right now to invest into that tournament with all the other things that I'm doing. So it's on the back burner. I may or may not bring it back. I don't know. But for now, there will not be another Insanity Cup. Let's see. You don't want to overextend to simply get up T2 Artie to siege a base. Yeah, in this situation, T2 Artie later in the game might be a good investment because of the close proximity of everything. But over-investing in T2 artillery when your opponents are coming at you with single strong attack units is generally not a good thing, because they're going to overrun your base. T2 artillery brings a lot of damage to bear, but only over an extended period of time. It takes a long time to pay for itself. Okay. Lots of apologies for mistakes. That is great. Everybody messes up. It is okay. What are my thoughts on mass fabricators and any tips for using them? You only build mass fabricators after you have all T3 capped mexes. They are far less efficient than any form of mass extractor, except for, I think, if you already have mass storage built and you can lay T2 fabricators down, they are slightly more efficient than upgrading to T3, but you also have to supply power to them. So if you're in the situation where you're playing towards a late game scenario, like you're in the air player position in a team game or something like that, if you already have your RAS upgrade, it is okay to build the dozen or so T2 mass fabricators to offset your resource allocation so that you're utilizing all of your power. But I would not get into the situation where I'm building power to sustain more mass fabricators until I have exhausted every single T3 mass extractor upgrade that I have available to me. And then after that point, now this is me personally, I only build T2 mass fabricators. In my opinion, T3 mass fabricators are just too expensive and they're too juicy of a target for me to justify building. I have built them on a few occasions when I'm just overflowing, 13,000 power. And I'm like, this power has got to go somewhere. So I'll throw down 2 or 3 T3 fabs just to utilize the power, but I don't build towards that. I like to build resource allocation SACUs because even though they're less efficient than T3 mass fabricators, it is mobile, self-defending, has a huge amount of build power, a high amount of health, so it's not really snipeable. It produces power and mass. I can move it out of the way of a nuke, which you can't do for fabricators and mass extractors. And it's just an awesome all-round tool to have in your base. If you have a pile of T3 mass fabricators and a swarm of T3 units come through, you're going to lose your whole eco. If you have a dozen RAS SACUs in your base and T3 units come through, you might lose 1 or 2 SACUs, but you're going to kill all the T3 units, you're going to be able to reclaim them all, and your build power is going to survive. So that's the trade-off. It's less efficient strictly for eco output, but I like the better utilization that you can get out of it. Okay, so that's that. Mass fabs are a fun toy. Yes, they are. You can build them for a domino effect. It is quite hilarious. I love it when people overbuild mass fabricators because all it takes is one strategically placed strap bomb and you can literally blow their entire grid. It is hilarious, especially if their ACU is sitting in the middle of it all, because it's highly explosive and that ACU is going to die. 100% proof positive. Do I know if a balanced counselor election will be soon, or do I have zero idea? Visionik, I actually talked to him last night for a little while, and he did mention this in Aeolus too. Well, the talking was in Aeolus. Let me straighten out that wording there. He is a bit tied up at the moment, and I think the date that he gave was like the 6th or 7th. I can't recall. But he is going to be back in full FAF mode in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. And that's when we're going to hit another cycle of putting people into place, getting some things back on track and that kind of thing. This happened a few weeks ago. We made some good progress. And then when he comes back this time around, we're probably going to have I think the balance counselor this time around is going to be chosen by all of the council members already in place, but I'm not 100% sure. That may be a vote. I can't recall the exact detail on that, but I would give it 2 to 3 weeks and we will probably have a balance counselor. And then we're also going to be in the position to start the next balance patch because a lot of this other work that's going on is going to be done. So hopefully that answers that. Okay. T3 mass fabs, 2.5 times the payback time, 3 times the energy per mass upkeep when compared to T2. Yes, if you want the mathematical implications of the T2 versus T3 mass fabricators, read Exotic Retard's comment. He is 100% right. All right. Don't know how to answer that. Okay, what factions do I play more frequently? I do really appreciate the thoughts, guys. I did post that video a couple of days ago, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love this community, and I love dealing with you guys. And I did not anticipate how much I would enjoy doing the live casts and interacting with you guys, because this is just awesome. Alright, so what factions do I play most frequently? Cybern and UAF. I play Aeon out of necessity a lot, but I don't necessarily enjoy their options as much. They're the most solid endgame faction, in my opinion, especially from the rear slot or an air slot situation. but I would prefer in open combat games to play either Cybern or UEF. And it just depends on my mood for the day. If I'm feeling especially trollish, I'll go for Cybern. If there's a bunch of Cybern already on the team, or if I'm feeling lazy, I'll play UEF, play defensively, go for TAC Pack or something, and just do crazy stuff. I don't really have strict faction adherences, but I probably play Cybern and UEF the most. Do I hate Gap of Rohan? I have mixed feelings about Gap of Rohan. I enjoy Gap of Rohan occasionally, but if I played it more than twice in any given day, I think that I would get violently ill. And the same goes for Thermo. I actually played a Gap and a Thermo today. Now, ask me if I will play another one of either of those maps, and I will probably laugh in your face, but I will play them occasionally. Oh my goodness. AKA Bricker Percy. I actually don't build bricks and Percivals that much. I really don't. Typically, if I go UEF, I'm going to end up doing either hardcore Ravager creep paired with T3 mobile artillery to soften everything up, or I'm just going to go blatant, all-in, complete Rambo com. And either I'm going to kill everyone, or I'm going to die horribly. And either way, it's going to be a short game. And that is the kind of game that I like. And when I'm Cybern, it's all about doing stupid stuff. Go to T2, troll people with hoplites, build fire beetles, make drops, do T2 Cyber Navy on Canis so I can push Salems across the land. Something like that. I do build a lot of bricks, but not... I don't choose the faction strictly for the T3 Assault Bot. That would be an incorrect assumption. Okay, there is one thing that I really, really want to mention, because I have seen this a ton recently, and it has got to be said. Please, people, when you reach T3, stop building T2 power generators. I know that it looks pretty when you're building your T3 mass fabricators, or they fit nicely with shields, and, all that other cool stuff. T2 power generators fit well with a lot of building. So if you're OCD with your bases, you end up building them. But T2 versus T3 power, the efficiency is not even on the same page. T3 returns more power per mass invested, more power per space invested. It's only one square bigger each direction, but it has 5 times the power output of a T2 gen, and you're going to be investing less mass. You should never, in a late game situation where you're going to be shifting to T3 power, I really think you should never ever have more than 4 T2 power generators, and those should be reclaimed as soon as you shift to either T3 power or resource allocation. There's just no reason to have them. It's the same as T1 power generators with T2 power generators. When you only have 1 or 2 T2P gens and you're in an active combat situation, a distributed power grid is amazing to have, because that means that any one snipe will not kill your eco. And T1 power generators scattered around, coupled with T2 power generators in a couple of different locations, is completely acceptable. But if you're in the back of a base, and you're protected, you're expanding outwards into the map, and you have you give it, an 80% probability that nothing's going to reach your base within the next 10 minutes kind of thing. Throw down extra T2 power generators, reclaim your T1 to get your mass back, because T2 is similarly more efficient to T1 as T3 is to T2. And then as soon as you get, depending on how much mass you have, between 2 and 4 T2 power generators, either get RAS on your ACU or go T3 and build a T3 power generator. Because the single T3 power generator is going to have more power output than all 4 of your T2s put together, and it's going to cost less mass. And then you can reclaim your T2s as soon as you are confident that you can protect that T3 power generator. And that's the most efficient way to do it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and host a murder party. That sounds like fun. And I'll go ahead and take a couple more rounds of questions if you guys have any curiosities while we're filling this up. Let's do Murder Party, and let's do it on, what was that? Desert, what was the name of that map? Cannot recall. Let's go up to Desert, because I think it's up here. Desert Arena, that's it. Alrighty. Post that up. Exotic retard. It doesn't work that way, I don't think, because when you stack up the combined percentages of 4 T3 power generators versus 16 T1s, I believe the overall percentage is actually still higher. Okay, I need to sort the options here. Okay, we want random spawns. We want locked teams with no teams. And we want no sharing. We do want that assassination. No cheating. As you can tell, this is left over from the last time I did my tutorial video because all of my cheating stuff is turned on to do all that stuff. Okay, share till death. Doesn't matter. And we are good. Ding, ding, ding. And it instantly fills up, and Softly's in the game. Actually, we got a lot of really high-rated people. We got Taquito, Ithalus, and Softly. So it'll be even competition, roughly. Frylord, I feel really bad for you, man. I'm going to let you play, but this might be painful. Alright, everybody needs to... everyone needs to get off of their teams. Nix. Yeah, no. Noob vor. Actually, I'm right in the middle. If you take the mean, not the average. I'm gonna take random faction too, just for kicks. We'll see how this puts down. Alright, looking over your questions again. Should I surround an air factory with T1 power, or T2, or T3? T3 power with air facts. I do 1 power generator with 4 factories around it. That way, there's not a highly explosive domino effect if one of the T3 power generators in a grid gets sniped. I do it in groups of 5. I have a template, and I spread them out just enough so that the power generators can't chain each other. So, let's see. Put T3 P-gens next to T3 fact. Yes, that's correct. Excuse me. I would never put T2 fabs next to T3 max for the upgrade. You're always going to want to assist your T3 mass fabricator or T3 mass extractor upgrade. Just a second. My goodness, something caught in my throat. All right, let's go with this. Your T3 mass extractors take a long time to pay out. And I think I crashed. Well, crap. Fantastic. I may have just found a lobby bug. Well, we're going to rehost this. Oh my goodness. Why? Okay, T3 mass extractors take a long time to pay out your investment that you put into them. So you're going to want to, if anything, you're going to want to over assist them to get them finished as quickly as you possibly can to get them to pay back their mass investment faster. And by the time you combine the time in mass it takes to build the fabricators around a T2 mass extractor, the adjacency bonus that you lose 3 income per tick off of the mass extractor, and you only gain back 4, so it's only +1. And then you also have to factor in the added APM of setting all this up, reclaiming the fabricators afterwards because you can't control them or they'll damage the mass extractor, and then rebuilding your mass storages. Oh, I don't have Murder Party on. Crap. Pro level hosting skills. Um, by the time you factor all that in, the benefit of the T2 mass fabricators next to your mechs for the upgrade, the benefit is so tiny that it's just not worth it if there's any benefit at all. So that's just my opinion. You know, if you have the APM to burn and you want to do that, then by all means do that. But from my point of view, it is just not worth it at all. So, anywho. And I need to reset my... Alright. Random. No teams. And all of my settings reset themselves. Fantastic. I'm going to turn off score as well so we can't see who's doing what. Who is the new one? Chosen one wasn't here. I don't know. I'm not sure who all was here before, and I don't really feel good about kicking anybody in this situation. I think we're just going to play with this. All right. Talk about Clan Vor. I do like Vor a lot. It's a group of relatively level-headed people for the most part, and they're fun to hang around. So, there's the bug. Pony, you need to leave. No, it's Ben Boys. There we go. Yes? Yes? Someone else needs to host this, apparently. Because for some reason, I cannot launch. No! I promised that I was playing replays, and I've played games today, and this has all worked perfectly, and for some reason, this is hanging. I may not be able to do a game today, who knows? That is downright depressing. Yeah! It launched. Alright, we're good. We're good. Hallelujah! Alright, I got stuck on the north side. Let's see how this turns out. Very, very slow on the connections here. Alright, welcome to Murder Party. And I probably need to reset my stream for lower settings, and I have a rock in the way. Alright, resetting the stream ever so briefly so that I can turn my bitrate down, because otherwise this is not going to go anywhere. Alright, back in a second. Alright, let's see, let's do 20 right in the middle. See how this vote plays out. Alright, so my build is going to consist of snagging 4 mass extractors, rushing the Hydro, building a fairly large amount of T1 P-gens right off the bat so that I can feed my reclaim addiction, and then reclaim the ever-living hell out of all of the map that I can reach while trying not to die. And that's basically how you play every game of this type. So, my mission is to kill the Koopa. Yeah. Oh no. Taquito got me. Taquito's gonna kill me. At least he doesn't have Cybern, because then he would kill me with a Beetle Drop, and that would just be plain embarrassing. And getting lag still. What do we got here? Oh my goodness, Fry Lord. Stop it. Stop it now. And we're going to have to do some reclaiming on the Hydro spot. I did not realize that. Is that a rock? There we go. Alright, we're good. And Takedo loves his freaking T1 bomber, so I am not going to want to put my E-gens too close to each other. Because if I do, he is going to bomb them all. And that would suck. Alright. La-di-da-di-da. Waiting on the initial build to start. I should have gone 1 mass extractor, 2 P-gens, 1 mass extractor, walk to Hydro to assist, and then do other things. Because I'm slightly behind on my early game power income. And that is not a good place to be. Alright. Lots of rocks. And let's get our... not going to do air. I know it's probably going to come back to bite me in the butt, but we're not going to do air. Alright, so I'm going to T2 this land factory since I have double adjacency on it. And going to do this number. Lots of land factories because I'm going to go hardcore Ilshava spam. That seems like a good option. Because Ilshis always win every time. We know this to be the case. Probably going to need to throw down a T1 anti-air at some point. Because inevitably there will be bombers. Just a fact of life. Scout. Hello. Hail, my neighbor! Well, that's Takedo. That means Takedo, whose goal it is to kill me, is somewhere over here. That's not a good sign. Ugh. No. Alright, gonna throw up the air down this way. Let's throw up a radar on this adjacency, and let's do a power generator in the back. Immediately go T2 on this one, and begin throwing Ilshavas everywhere. And as soon as I have a sufficient reclaim income where I can do this without stalling, I am going to get the gun upgrade. That will complement my Ilshavas very nicely, and I can go highly aggressive. Very good, very good. Alright. Gun upgrade. And now we wait. Holy mother of power drain. May have needed to do a couple more P-gens before I did that. Let's see. Power generators across the back. As we just learned in this other cast, you don't want to build your P-gens towards someone else's base, because that never ends well. Yeah, I know. Mass stalling. Happens to the best of us. Now, see, I'm floating in storage, because I may be negative most of the time, but with my blips, I'm actually maintaining. So, this is good. This is okay. I'm right where I should be. I did mass stall briefly, bringing my other factories online, but for the most part, this is okay. I do, however, need to bring some more engineers in on my power spam, because that's not looking very healthy. Burn off my excess on this gun upgrade and pause before I stall again. Alright. There we go. That looks like a point defense. I think I can accurately say that that is a point defense, and oh no, here comes units. Let's draw up together my fellow units, build a point defense, because there is going to be a run by back here. Maybe? Yes? No? Maybe? Nope. Alright, forget the point defense. And finish the factory. Start getting some tanks online. I am being ganged up on. Fantastic. Not really. Couple of stray mantas here and there. I do want to move these. That looks like it might be mobile artillery about to come in, and I do not want that to happen. Alright, Ilsheva is about to come online. If I can get my Ilsheva out, we'll be okay. That is a T2 point defense. Not cool, bro. Not cool, man. That is not cool. Don't do that. Why you got a point defense creep? That's not being a fun person. Oh, those are Sparkies. Look at that. Look at that. He's actually using Sparkies with the blips. He's spoofing my radar. Got me all totally freaked out about nothing. Got a mobile shield on his triads. Well, at least I got rid of most of the blips. And now I know that in reality, there is absolutely nothing over there to be afraid of, except for the fact that there's triads tearing through my power. Alright, so we're going to start rebuilding our power in the back here, where hopefully the triads cannot quite reach. And here comes my first Ilsheva off the line. I'm going to send that south to deal with these mantis. What are we going to do here? This... Hydro's down. Stop it! Why you do this to me? Alright, gonna run my ACU in. We're gonna rebuild the Hydro. So hopefully I can get enough power back online to freaking overcharge. Ilsheva's gonna clear that up. That we need. Alright, gonna run down here and rebuild. That's gonna stay. Let's do mass extractor. Oh, come on. Building a T1 point defense in range of me. That's not very nice. Alright, I'm just going to tank this right here. If I can get this off of me, should work out okay. At least my radar is still online. Saltbot's already got 10 kills. Booyah. Alright, get rid of this. There we go, finally. Hot dog, got the triad. Alright, now I can back up. I just have his ACU to worry about. Alright. Till he throws up another triad back here, that is. 2,500 health. Not good, not good, not good. And there's his other triad. Exactly. Oh, crap. I'm going to go to this other side and clean up this T1 point defense over here, because that is getting really freaking annoying. Wow, 15 health. Nice. Go kill this engineer and mass extractor and bet. What I'm going to do.
Commander under attack.
And I'm dead. There's absolutely nothing I can do now because I am pinched between two people who want me dead. That is lame, 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 lame. Alright, well, gonna get rid of that so now I can get my reclaim back online. I may need to attempt to move over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start mobile missile launcher spam so that I can deal with this. And Taquito, if you're in the stream and you are listening to what I'm doing, you are not my favorite person. I'm not going to say anything mean about you. Going to be nice, going to be friendly. But yeah, if you're listening to what all is happening right here, go away. No one wants you here. Alright, I'm going to die one way or the other, so I'm just going to brave it and try to vet up off of these hoplites and various and sundry other items over here. And I may or may not be able to claim this base as my own. If I can, that would mean that I will be further away from Taquito, which would do me very well. I'm going to bring some engineers over here and lay down some land factories. And just plan on assimilating this. Need a radar. Need to go ahead and think about more power that is well out of range. Let's do that. And overcharge while I still have the opportunity. Oh, overcharge. Ooh, do not want to lose my power storage. Right. Overcharge you. Well, of course I'm getting torn apart, Koopa.
Commander under attack.
Ah, there's the ACU. Oh, crap. I do believe that means I'm dead. Yup, 1k health. Taking a lot of damage here. No, I don't want to die. I want to live. And... Nope. Nope. Oh, man. Crap. Oh, well. That is that, folks. Pinched between a 1900 and someone who likes his mantis. So, congrats. I'm dead. And I did not leave observers on. Well, that sucks. Let me, I'm actually going to exit this and watch the live replay and fast forward to where we're at so that I can see what's happening with everyone else. See how this goes down. And for those of you who don't know, you can watch the live replay, find someone you know is in the game. Let's go for Taquito and scroll down here to the T's. I know I could use search, but why type when you don't have to? All right, we got Taquito, so we're going to right click and view live replay. And that'll drop us right back into the game. Double nano on 10 T1P gens does not work out. Someone suggesting to get killed by the wrong opponent so he does not get the bonus. That is exactly what I did right there. I did not give the bonus to Taquito. I went to the other guy and gave him a handicap. Because I'm a troll like that. Alright, we're going to plus 10. We already know roughly what happened here. Gonna zip on through and watch the little critter skitter around. Alright. Gonna read back through your comments here. I don't think Brink will ever win one of these. No, I won't. And this is why. And this is actually why I stopped playing Phantom games. Because when people know your name, if you're either hosting a live session such as this, or you're live streaming it, or you join and everyone knows who you are, and I'm not, like, you know, being big-headed about this, I'm speaking realistically. I jump into games, and there will always be at least one or two people who are like, oh cool, it's Brink, he's in the game, and from that point on, it's basically their goal in life to kill me, so that they can say that they killed Brink. And that's why I stopped playing Phantom, was because regardless of who was the Phantom or what was going on, I think there was probably 5 or 6 Phantoms back to back where I was the first one to die because literally all 5 other players would gang up and try to kill me to see who could kill me first. And it's just not fun anymore, so I quit. I do actually enjoy games like this. I am more than happy to play these, and they're a fun time to have, but yes, realistically speaking, I am always going to die. Because of either I'm going to be talking and distracted and I'm going to not pay attention to something that I should and die. Or, oh look, he did that up. Nice. 3k health, Ilshi. Or everybody's going to team up on me and try to kill me. So one or the other, it's okay. Alright. Yes, I handicapped a 500 player. Isn't that awesome of me? And yes, Speck, is that supposed to be Spanky, the dog, like off of South Park? If so, kudos to you for the reference. But, Spanky, yes, you're right. And even though, even though if I was given distance, I am capable of killing, 500 players. One ACU in this close proximity versus 2 or 3 or 4 ACUs, even from people far less skilled, it's just not feasible. I don't have enough health to burn to survive that situation, unless I only build T1 point defense to survive the early game, and then it gets kind of sketchy later, and it's just weird. It can be done, it's just really hard, and I don't know that I have the mental fortitude to try to pull that off on this kind of map. I know some of the higher ranked players used to stretch themselves. They would go 1 versus 3 on open palms or something like that. Strictly for the challenge of having 3 ACUs with 3 times the early expansion versus you. It's like playing against a super aggressive cheating AI, basically. So and there's Frylord landing the kill, and from here on we got new material. I cannot speed it up though, because we're locked in 5 minutes behind actual game time. So that is the relay that FAF has so that people can't effectively ghost. It's still possible, but your intel's going to be 3.5 to 5 minutes old because you can't get any closer to that in the live replay. Great story, Spacky. Alright. Well, it looks like they were still experiencing a small amount of net lag, so I'm getting a little bit of lag here. We'll watch for 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll see how this goes, and then figure it out from there. But, since I'm not playing anymore, if you guys had any more questions for me or anything you were curious about, stuff that you're wondering about, go ahead and ask it, because I have all the time in the world to talk now, even though I typically talk all the time. So, yeah, there is that. That is one of the odd things you have to get used to. Oh, he's pushing USSR too. Stupid triads. Also, I love the Sparkies. I know I mentioned that before, and that is a regular T2 engineer, but I do not see people use Sparkies very much, and I always get a little bit excited when I see it. The radar blips really genuinely had me freaked out. So that is how you're supposed to use them. But yes, monologuing. That is one of the odd things about doing this, because when I first started doing it, it was really odd trying to come up with things to talk about, because basically I'm talking for an hour to an hour and a half, and, it's hard to come up with enough stuff. I either have to have the game flowing and stuff to comment on in the game, or, your comments are helpful in instigating new topics of conversation, but basically, I'm talking to myself for an hour and a half, and if you took away the Supreme Commander video, I would be classified as mental, I think. I would probably be committed, but yeah, instead I'm just talking to a microphone, and there are other people listening to it. Isn't that kind of strange? Technically, you could classify any group of radio hosts or commentators as clinically insane, except for they have people that listen to their insanity. Alright, siege a base with T2 already after a push. A good idea or not? I'm going to say no. T2 stationary artillery is pretty much only for either choke point wars, such as Thermopylae, and boom goes the dynamite. Is that a Control K? I don't even know what killed that. May have been a Control K. Or if you have a place where, for instance, if you are player green here, the Koopa, and you have a secure position right here, and you're versus 3 opponents, you can build a T2 arty right here, which can reach, most of this circle here. You're going to be able to deny these mass extractors, because anytime they try to build them, you're going to kill them with the T2 artillery. You could build 2 or 3 here, actually, and get your money's worth out of them. And then, since they have such a huge spread, literally any direction that the other guys chose to approach you from, the artillery could soften up the incoming units pretty effectively. Now, I wouldn't build 6 or 7, because then you're getting up to the point where you're not going to get your money's worth out of them, because in the time it takes for units to run in a straight beeline to your base, the arty is not going to be able to deal much damage. It's more for soaking up or laying down damage on distant targets or incoming slow-moving targets. So there's a balancing point, and it's more a matter of strategically placing them than pushing. And where UEF uses Ravager creep, other factions would use T2 artillery creep. That's a totally false idea. And there are no alliances. I turned off, I locked teams. People can't team up. So, yeah. They may coordinate their efforts, but they're not going to be able to actually team. Alright. Which means they can't put their units too close to each other, or they will fire upon each other. And yes, Takedo and Ithilus are much better players than Frylord and Koopa. No offense to you guys. Wait, is Ithilus one of the ones? No, he's still alive. Alright, there's Ithilus, there's Takedo. Those are the two players I would be worried about. Possibly Koopa, because he does have the second base over here, but that's a hard one to call. No, I would not do T2 artillery spam. Stefan, if you're referring to if you get to right here and you're not quite in T2 point defense range, but you're well within range of their actual base, and you're talking about sieging the home base itself, yeah, I would invest in maybe a couple of T2 artillery, but you got to understand, in a game like this where your highest mass income is 55 per tick, T2 stationary artillery is a massive, massive investment. Once you're getting up to 150 per tick, you can kinda sorta start treating T2 artillery like point defense. But they're still expensive. But in this kind of game, more than one or two, I would say, is prohibitively expensive. I would never build 3 or more T2 artillery in this kind of game. I don't care what kind of situation it was in. Because for those T2 artillery, you could pay for a bunch of mobile units with which to more easily defend yourself. So, it's all about utilization of the limited resources that you have. So we got a lot of mobile missile launchers online here, and that is becoming a huge problem for Ithilus, who has for some reason named his commander to DD. That is a naming mod. DD, DNG, D... well, no. We've only got a few. D overcharge. I love it. Awesome. He's got that mobile shield paired with his ACU. And this is the proper answer to mobile missile launchers. Mobile missile launchers of your own. Now, he can keep his moving, and that kind of negates it, but a lot of times people forget about their mobile missile launchers, and when they stand still, you can easily kill enemy mobile missile launchers with your own. And I would challenge anyone out there to say mobile missile launchers 10 times in a row, because mobile missile launchers will eventually tangle your tongue up. So, not Ithilus. Oh! Yellow tried my gambit and also failed. He tried to run into Ithilus' base, and that did not turn out well. So right now, the map is shaping up to greatly favor Takedo. He's pulling 68 mass per tick, which is 10 higher than the next guy, and he's got good groups of triads on both sides, paired with some mobile shielding over here especially. That's going to be able to deny really anything incoming fairly effectively. And this is a good example of point defense. You're not building fire bases, you're not over-investing mass into stationary objects, you're strategically placing 2 to 3 point defense here and there so that you can cut off points of access. And that is how you're supposed to do it. And that was a nice bomb right there. Natha trying to kill off these T2 edgies. Pausing to reclaim the Sparky that fell, and then running right back out as soon as the bomber flies over. Very nice, very nice. Ilshiv is moving up to deny a reclaim right here. So, Takedo is sitting on 2 solid bases, as well as the Kappa. So that leaves Ithilus with very low eco and not much options as far as reclaim goes. And Supreme Burger, he is pinched in between 2 much stronger players. I think this is going to come down to Takedo versus the Koopa. And it's going to be interesting to see who wins this. We've got T3 coming online for Ithilus, which means he's about to start pushing Percivals. Something that Kappa is not going to have an answer to. He's still solidly on T2 pulling Ilshivas. So once Yeah, once Taquito gets about 5 Percivals online, that's going to be GG. There's going to be nothing that Koopa can do about it once the T3 UEF starts rolling out. Alright. Someone make a mod where if you kill a wall, it breaks into 4 bricks. That is awesome. I may play another game, Mini Munchers, but it's not going to be on a cast. I'm only going to do the one live game on the cast because I can't continually talk for that long, or I will blow a vocal cord or something, I don't know. My voice goes downhill after about an hour of talking and is probably already starting that direction now. Let's see here. Wonder what would happen if T2 point defense were disabled. That is an excellent idea. Playing this game with point defense and mobile missile launchers disabled would be hysterical. Because you would be forced into full combat situations. And that would be awesome. I may consider doing that at some point in the future. Alrighty, bricks rule, hail to the can. I completely agree. And if you put together 4 bricks, it turns into a wall. Well, that would be kind of stupid. Yeah, expensive walls. So if you have a group of 200 bricks, you can effectively build walls in emergency of being run over by T1 spam. Yes, highly effective use of bricks. Because there's no chance that 200 bricks would be able to deny T1 spam. I mean, T1 spam rules all. We know it's king. It wins every single game ever. No, my construction company is not actively hiring at the moment. Oh my goodness. Okay, Ilshivas are moving up here. Groups of Ilshivas are deceptively strong. I think we can safely classify them as T2.5, but the Triads are going to be able to deny them. So kudos to that, going to lose 1, but the group of 3 is going to be effective. And it looks like we're actually going for Rambo SACU production. The T3 factory is now sitting dormant. Taquito is falling behind Kappa. Kappa actually pulling nearly 20 mass per tick higher. And that is some awesome eco balance right there. Just barely pulling everything together. Getting the T3 P-Gens online. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier. Where we don't really have a whole lot of T1 P-Gens. And the T2 P-Gens are online, and now we've got a T3 P-Gen. Why did you... Well, yeah, throwing down the SAM in order to save all the damage on that T3 power generator. Once we get this online, need to reclaim 1 or 2 of the T2s, because you see we're plus 255, 2555, and you don't want to be that far positive, because that means you have over-invested mass into power. So... I have to see how Taquito balances this. Taquito does have 3 bases now. One of them is only T1 mass extractors, but 3 bases is 3 bases, and that's more than Kappa has. And Taquito has once again taken the lead, 122 to 119. So this is fairly close here. Kappa has overdeveloped the limited property that he has, and Taquito is pushing T3 mexes and has some outlying T1s. So we're seeing a bit of a flip here on the development strategies. We've got 1 T3 max down here. We do have T3 land rolling. And yes, Noppa's coming online. I was trying to see if that was a T3 upgrade on the air, but I don't think... Yeah, he does. Kappa does have the power to run that, actually. Must have RAS. He does have RAS. Could be pushing T3 air. That would probably do a whole lot to help him out. And that is brave, but it is going to work out for him, I think. Ithalus pushing in versus these Ilshivas. He's got to get in because of these. We've got 3 T3 mobile artilleries, and he was trying to get in to kill those off so they stop wrecking his base, but he is now getting hit by sniper bots, which is not a good situation at all to be in. Those things just strip the health away from you so rapidly. If he doesn't either kill them or get out very quickly, he is going to die. Actually, I think he's already dead. 3k health. And falling rapidly. Those sniper bots are going to move up to stay in range. Mobile shielding coming in. 1,500 health. Oh my goodness, that was close. And going to block those shots. Holy kashmolies, that's bad. T2 mobile missile launchers trying to kill off some of these units, I think. T2 shield's going to protect it, and that is a no-go. Kappa pulling ahead again, 159 income, pulling his second T3 mass extractor online. And he is going to go for a quantum gateway of his very own. Quite jealous of taquitos up here. Going to pull one in. Quantum gateway is going to be producing shield presets. I'm not sure if he meant to do that. That's going to give him only the bubble shield generator, which is kind of expensive, but does buy you 54k health. So if he's going for if he's going for base protection, that could work out in his favor. Or actually, he's probably going to spam Percivals and pair the heavy shield SACUs with the Percivals, so that the accumulated damage is extremely high, and there's 54k health to burn for any given group of Percivals. So that is actually a good strategy. I will backtrack on my opinion that Rambo is always better, because when you're also spamming Percivals, that could actually be a lethal combination. Alrighty. Rank, do you think with these last players that joined Vor will be able to get a better rank in a possible future intergalactic coliseum? It is a possibility. I am not 100% sure of Vor's plans to engage in such things. I am sure that we will be doing some things in the future with competitions like that, but I'm really not in a position to guess about it because I don't know. Yes, UEF SACUs are extremely powerful. Borderline OP, almost impossible to deal with. They are a pain in the butt. Let's see. T3 energy first or quantum gateway if you're planning on fabricator SACU. It is a moot point. Just depends on how much power you have. If you have enough power to do it without the power generator, then build a quantum gateway. Simple as that. Resource allocation has a lot to do with that. Alrighty. Naming mods. Sometimes they're great, then some people over apply them. Like, there will be guys who get a naming mod where every single unit on the entire map that belongs to them has a name. And by then, you're just buried in a sea of neon green and you can't see anything, and it's a royal pain. As a caster, I hate casting games like that because I can't see what's actually happening for all of the green names floating around. So if you want your games to get casted, I have casted games like that before. But if you want your games to get casted and you don't want them to look like a fuzzy neon blob, turn off your naming mod. Or do like these guys are doing and only apply it to a certain group of units. Like naming your accompanying, your key units. Your ACU. The shields next to your ACU. Your overcharge. That kind of thing. Just enough to be funny, not enough to be overbearing. Or your T4s. That is awesome. Naming every single unit is not. Alright, we got strap bombers moving in. That is going to cause major issues here. Already lost all of these T2 mass extractors to the T3 mobile artillery. I think Ithilus is about to have his game wrapped up for him. Not a whole lot he can do at this point. He's been chewed down to 12, count it, 12 mass income with no real reclaim income. And that's going to be it. Not a whole lot to do in that situation. Strap bomber kind of sort of looping around towards Taquito, but it's going to rethink it and head back south. Likes being alive. There's Sam's up there. Going to keep moving in on Ithilus And Ithalus is very nearly dead. One more strap bomb, and he is out of here. And apparently Koopa has had enough of teaming with Supreme Burger. Nope, stupid AI. Those guys are teamed. But strap bombers on auto attack do not know what verbally agreed teams mean. Sam's going to wipe out that strap bomber without a single bomb dropped. Going to pancake into that T3 shield. And there's the first shield commander. Pull up the stats on that. We got 52k health, not 54, my bad, with 150 per tick regen, and that thing burns 1,000 power all by its lonesome. But this, coupled with 6 Percivals, is basically a T4. You've got more health than a Monkey Lord, and 6 times 4, 2,400 damage. So the more Percivals you get, of course, is going to be more powerful, but that commander is the difference between a strong Percival and an unkillable Percival. Sniper bots just raking fire across that base. That's so sad to watch. I hate watching the painfully slow death of another player. Like, they're not actually dead yet, but there's literally nothing that they can do. Pitiful to watch. Painful. Heartrending. Like watching a sad, sick puppy that can't be adopted. It's like, I want to put it out of its misery, but it's so sad to put it out of its misery. Oh well. Alright, Koopa is pulling 197, Taquito is pulling 205, so still neck and neck. But I think, well, we've got the T3 air on the south side. That's going to be another deciding factor. I was about to say, there's probably going to be a factional decision because Percivals are just straight up stronger than Seraphim T3 land. But if we're pushing Rambo comms and Kappa has the T3 air advantage, then it could feasibly be an even game. And then we have Supreme Burger as the wild card here. He only has 30 eco, but he has a group of sniper bots, and he's willing to cooperate. So that's another ACU to throw away. On potentially killing Taquito. They're going to have to see how Taquito deals with this. I am interested to see how this is going to end because I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I like games where I don't know what's going to happen. If I can see who wins 20 minutes before the game is over, that is not a good game. But in this kind of situation, it's awesome. Alright, Strap Bombers wiping out the Northern Expansion. That may actually put... No, Taquito's still going to be slightly, ever so slightly ahead on eco. The shield comm is moving down. We now have 8 Percivals totaling 3,200 damage, so this is officially Monkey Lord proof. And those are going to move directly for the support commander. Now these guys, if you get the overcharge, which this has, I believe, yes, Rambo comm, that is going to have the overcharge preset. 12k DPS per punch with the ability to take out multiple Percivals at once, and the shield. You need to move that shield bubble back up to protect the Percivals so they can kill that thing. Gonna keep losing them. That is 3 Percivals down out of the group. And an Otham moving in, 4 down. Bad shield placement for Taquito. That could have been an easy win, but he lost half his Percivals, half of his shield, and really has absolutely nothing to show for it. Otham's moving in on the top. Taquito does have the personal shield upgrade, and it looks like he has the gun upgrade as well, I believe, yes. So that is a strong commander. It's going to be fairly hard to kill, just throwing in a few T3 units at a time, especially if he gets another commander bubble and puts that bubble shield over here. That's going to be just way too much HP for anything to kill. He could easily just stand there and tank the damage and overcharge a T4 to death with that commander paired with a Rambo. Alright, moving over to the left. Taquito has been knocked down a peg. Kappa is... Koopa. Used to be Kappa, now he's Koopa. Koopa is now ahead on eco by 10. Not too terribly much, but it is ahead. Alright. Going back over here to the comments. Let's see. How are RAS SACUs? Are they worth it with survivability and offense? Yes, they totally are. I talked about that earlier in the cast, so I'm not going to go into great detail on it now, but yes, I prefer building RAS SACUs to T3 fabricators. And here comes the chicken. To see how that is dealt with. Why don't people load up T1 mech marines on their UEF gunships? Effective is sent over as a group. Mech marines got less range than gunships, so either micro or hit mid group. I think it's just not enough benefit for the amount of APM and unit cap that it kills. Yes, it does add 20 DPS per gunship, but that also means you're using 2 unit cap instead of 1, and they both die for the same amount of hits. And like you said, you can't kite from range. You have to babysit your gunships because the mech marine doesn't have enough range. So it's a give and take situation. There's the Rambo commanders. He's building shields and Rambos. Those are easily going to be able to deal with that chicken with the help of these Percivals. And that thing's going to go down. Turning tail and running is not the best option with a chicken because that just means it dies being shot in the back instead of doing more damage before it dies being shot in the front. Third Rambo comm moving up. Got the Overcharge SACU moving in to try to kill these things. UEF Rambo comms have way more range than the Seraphim ones do, so that is going to get chased back, losing about half its shield before it even gets to land a hit. The Thotha moving back in to try to lay down some damage on these SACUs. Just about a dodge there. Strat Bomber coming in to lay down some hurt as well. The shield has arrived. That's going to add that beautiful 52k health to the equation. And that's going to push these back. Alright. No luck for Koopa. I think that's going to be a failed push on that side. UEF SACUs for the win. Alright. So yes, mech marines on gunships are cool, just not really super feasible in game. Just because it's too much work. Alright, Brink, what are your thoughts on Planetary Annihilation? As I've said many times before, I think it is a completely failed game. Mostly because of the company that made it. It could have been epic, it had so much potential, but they overpromised, underdelivered, screwed a bunch of people over, and then, as a kick in the teeth when everybody was already disappointed, before they even finished the first game, before they finished sending out items as Kickstarter thank yous, before they did anything that they said that they would do with Planetary Annihilation, they came back and started asking for more money in a Kickstarter for another game, which failed hilariously, and they deserved it. So, an optimistic person would say that, oh, the potential in PA is so cool, and it's such a neat game now, and there's been so many things fixed. But as a realist, I say that only about half of the stuff that people were promised when they initially kickstarted the game actually came about. They had horrible PR during the production phase after the Kickstarter was over. They completely failed to deliver on tons of stuff, and overall, it is, I hate to say it, but I classify them now as a money-grubbing company. They were out for the dollar in the Kickstarter campaign, and they weren't really concerned with their capability of actually delivering the product that they were promising. So, yeah. I'm disappointed in the game itself. I'm not going to play the game itself, but I am more disappointed in the company that tried to pull it off, and to Uber Entertainment, a giant screw you, and yeah, I raise my middle finger salute. Ithalus has retreated to the far corner of the map. He has nothing left, and it's really not even worth chasing him anymore, but these sniper bots are still chasing him. Supreme Burger has assimilated this base. That is, I don't even know why Ithalus is still in this game. I probably would have suicided into one base or the other by this point. So Taquito and the Koopa are the only two viable warring parties, and the Koopa has a slight eco advantage over Taquito, but Taquito has the better unit options. So Koopa's gonna have to get really creative to solve this. If he can't get really creative, or if he can't figure out how to stop this, I think this is going to be game over shortly, because we now have a Fat Boy online, which is the Death Null for anyone who does not have complete air control and strap bombers to deal with it, or some other creative solutions such as tac launchers, getting in another T4, which was attempted here. It's not going to happen thanks to all of the Ravagers and Rambo comms that have been built up. And then the blanket damage down here. Overcharges are going to kill one of those Rambo comms, but these two are going to go down now. Keto diving into the fray himself. And you may say that that is a stupid decision, but overcharges do not affect commanders. If you remember, they only deal 400 damage instead of 12k. So the ACU is actually the perfect tool to tank Seraphim overcharge SACUs, because he can do overcharges that deal 12k damage to the SACUs, but he doesn't take the 12k damage in return. It just barely scratches the paint on his ACU. So that is that. And I think that is going to be the wrap for this game. We got another chicken down here, but I don't think a single chicken is going to do much of anything versus 3 SACUs and a Fat Boy. It may be able to kill the Fat Boy, and that will probably help his situation out, but we got another Fat Boy on the way, and a whole bunch more SACUs. So I think we're just going to watch the slow crumpling of the Koopa's defenses. Alright. This is not Phantom, this is Murder Party. Cooled test name you have ever seen. Mark, please rephrase your question because I don't understand. Oh my goodness, there goes the Athatha. It is about to die, and the Fat Boy is not even going to lose its shield. I was afraid of that. As long as Taquito is not... Yeah, he's retreating. I was about to say, as long as he's not dumb enough to leave his unit sitting in the lightning storm, he should be completely fine. Yeah, everybody who moved to Planetary Annihilation, I mean, that entire thing was just really disappointing. We lost a lot of good casters to that, and it's just meh. Drunk Keto is unstoppable. Yes. The Keto is mowing down the competition here. We're just watching the slow, unstoppable steamrolling that is UEF versus most other factions. What is the most hilarious kill you've ever gotten in a game? That is a hard one to answer. Okay, I'm going to go for this one. I have not ever played PlanetSide 2. I was in a sentence game where we had hit deadlock. And there goes Ithless, suicide again. We'd hit deadlock in the late game. Like, hour and 15 minutes. And, it was me and one teammate versus one player on the other side. And this person had hid himself in the pond and made a huge point about bragging about the fact that we couldn't kill him because he had multiple nuke defense. He had SAMs over the water to protect himself from torp bombers, and he had an absurd number of T2 torpedo defenses in the pond with him, so we couldn't teleport into the pond. So what I did was I teleported. Well, first, I killed off his Omni in the back, and I don't think he realized that I did because he didn't rebuild it. And there it goes. Koopa is down to 2 Fat Boys. Okay, so there's no radar on the back side of the map. I teleported in with my ACU, and I built a tac launcher base just north of the pond on the north side of Settons. And then I teleported into the pond after my tac launchers had finished loading. I was Cybern. So I launched the tacs, which killed all of his torpedo defense immediately before I got into the pond. I teleported into the back corner and got a stealth sonar up and one T3 torpedo defense completed. I got a harm done before he even realized I was back there. And then I started chasing him because I also had the Mazer upgrade. So the harm got him out of the water, and then I Mazered him. So it's like within about 7 or 8 minutes of him bragging about the fact that we would never be able to kill him in the pond and we were all in deadlock, I've managed to force him out of the pond with a combination of tack launchers and torpedo defenses and then maser him. So, yeah, that was hilarious. I was laughing hysterically at that point because it was just so funny. Not that the kill was anything special, but just it feels so good when people brag about the fact that you can't kill them and then you're just like, yeah, rub it in your face. Oh man. Alright. Love PlanetSide 2. I've never tried PlanetSide 2. I probably should because a lot of people say it's really good, but I don't own it and I don't feel like buying a copy, and I'm already invested into a couple of other games. So, I don't know. It may or may not happen. Okay. I'm going to take one last scroll through these comments and answer what's here and maybe a couple more that are coming up, and I'm about ready to end this cast for an hour and 40 minutes. Holy hell. So if you got something you want to ask it now, because this is about to be the end. And there's a crash. I don't know why I'm crashing so often here. All right. We're going to observe Aeolus for a second here. And, yeah, just watch the chat channel. Okay. Paid $75 for PA and have not played it once. Maida, my hat goes off to you. I pity you, good sir. And I almost paid for PA, but I didn't. And I am so glad that I did not. All right. Let's see. Chat's being crazy. Okay. And not seeing anything else. I think we're good. I've never played World of Tanks either. I've watched a couple of games of that, but I have not ever played it. PlanetSide 2 is free to play. Okay, well, I will check it out then. I cannot promise that I'll play it much, but I'll give it a download and see what's happening over there. PlanetSide 2 is okay, just grindy. Well, personal opinion, you know. We'll have to see. Okay. All right. I think that is going to wrap it up. Nothing else being asked here. So, at this point, I am out of here. Thank you so much for watching this cast. As always, I love seeing you guys interact with it, and I love bringing this to you guys. If you are only tuning in now and you missed the first cast and the first Q&A and all that other stuff that happened, in just a few minutes, this will post to the main channel, and you'll be able to watch the whole thing start to finish. And if it's broken this time around, I actually have a recording on my PC, so that if it breaks again like it did last week, I'll be able to get the whole thing up. So, without further ado, I am going to hit the end cast button. I will see you guys in the next video.